Alright, what's up everyone? It's Kevin and welcome back to a brand new video. So as you know, the MFJS MeiLong series, which is a sub-brand of MoYu, has been out for quite a while now, and they've even just recently made the magnetic version of the 3x3, but I do not have that yet. So in this video, I'm going to be reviewing and comparing the MeiLong 2x2, 3x3s, and 4x4. Enjoy! Now really quick, if you didn't know, the MeiLong series is a series of budget cubes that range from 2x2 through 12x12, as well as some other types of puzzles. And these cubes that I'll be reviewing and comparing today are all under the price of $7 US, which is absolutely incredible. Now to start off this video, we have the MeiLong 3x3 and the MeiLong 3C. The MeiLong 3x3 is 55.5 millimeters, it weighs 64.2 grams, and you can get it for a price of $3.99 on thecubicle.com. The MeiLong 3C, on the other hand, is 55 millimeters, weighs 64 grams, but can also be bought at a price of $3.99 on thecubicle.com. Now, a lot of people are confused whenever they pick up both of these puzzles because they are basically the exact same thing. Now, the only way you can really tell the difference between these two is by the dimensions and the weight. The original MeiLong is only half a millimeter bigger and also only 0.2 grams heavier, so it's not much of a difference, but that is the only way really you can tell. Now I did actually put a little piece of tissue inside the center cap of the original MeiLong just so it would be easier to tell the difference, so I recommend you do that too. Now in my opinion, the only difference in turning is that the original MeiLong is the slightest bit more blocky, and that is really all the difference, so it's really hard to tell the difference, and so again, I recommend putting something inside the center cap of the original MeiLong or the new MeiLong so that you can tell the difference way easier. Alright, now as you can see, I've just taken two pieces out of each the MeiLong original and the MeiLong 3C, and now I'm going to compare the pieces. So here's the corners. They are the exact same. They have the same exact treads. They look exactly the same. There's no difference. And then here are the edges. They are also the exact same. There's no difference in them whatsoever. And then finally, here are the cores, and they're the exact same. So the design on both of these cubes are also the same, and yeah, so it's very hard to tell the difference between these two cubes. Now anyway, with that out of the way, let's just get onto the turning of these cubes, and I'm just going to use the original MeiLong for this, only because they're both really exactly the same. So right out of the box, the MeiLong 3x3s weren't exactly the greatest. They were pretty stiff and very papery, and they didn't have the most satisfying turning. But after just a little bit of break-in and applying only one drop of Luvical Silk and D&M 37 each, the cube started to feel actually pretty good. The turning is really smooth and light, but it still sounds a bit papery. Also, it is the slightest bit blocky, but that doesn't really affect the turning much. Every algorithm flows super smoothly, and overall, after break-in, it just became super satisfying to turn and solve with. And honestly, the times that I get with this 3x3 aren't much different than the times that I get with my main 3x3, which is the Valk Elite M. And of course, the same goes for the MeiLong 3C, which is only a slight bit better in my opinion. Some people prefer the MeiLong original over the 3C, but in my opinion, I like the 3C just a tiny bit better. The MeiLong C is only a tiny bit smoother and they're just a little bit less blocky than the original MeiLong, so that's why I prefer the C over the original, but only by a tiny bit. On both of these cubes, the turning flows super smoothly and the cube is pretty fast overall. It can double turn with ease, and the corner cutting is almost two pieces, a good bit over 45 degrees. So I definitely recommend these 3x3s for beginners and really everyone honestly. But one thing I will say is that you should definitely get the magnetic version over this for only a price of $2 more, which is just absolutely incredible. So now we will move on to the MeiLong 2x2. This cube is 50 millimeters flat and it weighs 51.3 grams. You can get it for the same price of the 3x3s at $3.99 on thecubicle.com. Now I find it kind of weird that it's the exact same price as the 3x3s, but I mean, it's such a cheap price that it really doesn't matter. Now, right out of the box, this cube felt pretty dry, papery, and stiff, which is pretty similar to the 3x3s. But right away, I knew it had great potential, and I was right. After just a tiny bit of break-in, this cube felt amazing. And after applying just a single drop of D&M and Luvical Silk each, this cube felt phenomenal. I also did loosen this cube a tiny bit, and I feel like that really did help. Now after breaking, the turning on this cube is so fluid and buttery smooth. It still does have a sort of papery feeling, but that really doesn't change anything. Now just to note, all of these cubes have pretty frosted plastic, but it's only a tiny bit, it's not too noticeable. But it does make the cube pretty slippery. But unless you're used to this feeling on cubes like the GAN XS or other cubes that have frosted plastic, it really won't change anything at all. This cube is also really fast and controllable. It can double flick with ease and go a little bit over. And the corner cutting, 45, easy. It can even go a tiny bit over 45, so that's just crazy. Now, this budget 2x2 is so good that in my opinion it even beats other cubes like the Weipo and the Lingpo, which I know are really old cubes, but they were extremely good for their time. And yeah, this for only $4 just beats that. Now for a stickerless cube, this cube does have black internals, which is slightly odd, but I mean, it obviously doesn't change anything like the turning or whatever. But yeah, I definitely recommend this 2x2 for everyone, not just beginners. This cube is so fluid and smooth, and it's just super controllable and so nice to solve on. It'll definitely get you good times. So now we'll move on to the final cube in this comparison, which is the MeiLong 4x4. Now I'm just going to say this cube didn't impress me as much as the 2x2 and 3x3s. So this cube is 59mm, which is slightly small, and it weighs 101.3 grams. And you can get this cube for a price of $6.99 on thecubicle.com, which is definitely worth it. So right out of the box, this cube is very tight, crispy, and stiff, and I just was not liking the turning. It was pretty unsatisfying to turn, and it just wasn't what I was hoping it would be. It's also pretty loud, clacky, and catchy, so solves aren't too satisfying on this thing. It's not as fluid, and it doesn't flow as smoothly as the 2x2 and 3x3. It's also pretty just crispy, and I don't know, it's not the greatest. Now that was mostly just out of the box, and with a bit of break-in and lubing, this cube does change a good bit. It does also have black internals, which obviously doesn't affect the turning or anything, but it is slightly strange, well, in my opinion. And right away, I did put some D&M 37 as well as lubical silk in this cube, like on the pieces, and it did change the performance quite drastically. I did also loosen this cube a slight bit, which did really help. The turning is still very crispy, but I actually kind of like that now after a bit of use. The cube is also now very controllable, and after use, I'm just liking the cube more and more whenever I'm playing with it. It is pretty fun to solve on now, but it does still catch quite a bit. But yeah. Now, I am really liking its crisp turning after getting used to it, and I am starting to get used to the cube a little more, so I know how it turns. This 4x4 is about medium speed, and it does double turn with a little bit of force, and the corner cutting is about 1.5 pieces, which is pretty good for a 4x4, especially a budget 4x4. And do I recommend this cube? I recommend it for its cheap price, but not really its performance. It wasn't the greatest out of the box, but with a bit of break-in, it did improve quite a bit. It is pretty catchy, but it is still controllable, and I would get it if I was a beginner, but not really an advanced speed cuber. So overall, the MeiLong series is a really good series of budget cubes. They do make magnetic versions of most of them, so I recommend getting those instead for only a couple dollars more each. You can also get these cubes in stickered as well, but I personally prefer stickerless. It just looks a lot better. Okay, never mind, one correction, you can't get the 3x3s in stickers, but you can get the 2x2 and 4x4. I'm not sure about the other cubes, but you can get these in stickered. Anyways guys, that's gonna have to be all for this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel, as well as turn on all notifications so you don't miss out on any cool new videos on this channel in the future. Also, share this video with everyone you know, and comment down below what you thought and what other cubes I should review in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you all next time. Bye.